Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching AMTV, Alternative Media Television Live. Welcome to the underground. Hard-hitting and in your face. Now, while black mobs viciously beat and attack white Trump supporters because they're a bunch of sore losers and obvious racists, and CNN, the Clinton News Network, fails to report on it, Vladimir Putin of Russia prepares for bombing ISIS. Now, on election night, we reported this, and it was a huge report at the time because people were, just paying attention to the election as we all had our boob tubes on and we were tuned in, seeing what was going to happen, and then we have this amazing victory. And behind the scenes, Putin is moving his warships, which went through the English Channel a couple weeks ago, putting the Royal Navy on red alert, coming from north and south, putting UK's neighbors in kind of a precarious, potentially dangerous situation, shaking in their boots as Putin defends his ally. On his way, a flotilla of 8 warships at the time on their way to Syria to defend his rightful sovereign ally, Bashar al-Assad, and the nation of Syria, which has been overtaken by ISIS, which was created, funded, and armed by people like disgraced Hillary Clinton. Remember, Libya was her war, folks. That is what we got from WikiLeaks and the Julian Assange leaks. Libya was Hillary Clinton's war. Benghazi Gate, the email scandal that transferred all those weapons of terror and moved all of those radical jihadi terrorists into Syria to overthrow, or attempt at least, Bashar al-Assad. Now Vladimir Putin is preparing to bomb the you-know-what out of this group. What was it, Obama? Didn't he call them? They were the JV team. I'm not going to miss Obama at all. And I'm certainly not going to miss disgraced Hillary Clinton, especially when she's prosecuted to the full extent of the law, courtesy of Donald Trump, after hiring a special prosecutor to put her into prison stripes. At the time, I tweeted this. If you're not already following me on Twitter, Russian carrier group arrives next to Syria to launch Aleppo airstrikes in hours. And I think this was a form of reality and also psychological warfare on election night. As this was unfolding, Moscow at the time, Vladimir Putin, who toasted later, little champagne to Donald Trump and his victory. Surprised it's not vodka. I thought you guys drink vodka over there, Vladimir, in the Kremlin, in Moscow. I don't think even they knew who the next president of the United States was going to be. We had that bombshell. Now today, Vladimir Putin's warships confront dangerous NATO submarine in the Mediterranean as they prepare to bomb Syria. Here we see a report. This was from November 9th. While Vladimir Putin buddies up to new U.S. President Donald Trump, his battle group remains ready to launch a bloody onslaught on devastated city Aleppo. It's in Syria, Gary Johnson. I'm glad you didn't ruin the election for Donald Trump. Putin's sailors reported being stalked by a NATO vessel, which their anti-submarine warships promptly chased away from the fleet cruising near Syria. Russia's battle group, led by the Admiral Kuznetsov, sounds like cut your nuts off, has been condemned for posturing and attempting to intimidate NATO nations as it cruised through Europe towards the Mediterranean. So you can see these images here of the Admiral warship coming dangerously close to a NATO submarine. So where are we going from here? What happens in Syria next as a result of this transition of power where Donald Trump takes the keys to the White House? Now, I think risks have seriously de-escalated, but expect a full frontal assault by Vladimir Putin against ISIS. And it makes sense. Isn't that who we're supposed to be fighting here in the United States as well? Radical jihadi terrorists? But you see, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama would never tell you that, folks, because it was a smokescreen, along with U.S. intelligence and allies of the United States, to create ISIS, to promote the instability, to create the insurgency, so that nations are radicalized and overthrown, like Libya, or Yemen, or Egypt with revolution and re-revolution, or Iraq with Saddam. Saddam Hussein. tickle in my throat. Putin's murderous Syria raids set him back. In Ukraine, total propaganda. This is John E. Herbst on November 10th, 2016. While I'm struggling, help us out. Go to our GoFundMe page. Help us with more resources. We need it. Broadcasting around the clock. I can barely speak. As a result, guys are laughing at me. GoFundMe, Alternative Media Television. We need your support. We need more resources. Thank you. Remember how I told you I'm going to lower my voice. It's been a long week, folks. Amazing. That NATO, United Nations, were going to frame Vladimir Putin of war crimes in Syria, even though it was very far from the truth. I still think that the New World Order may do that. They're not going to give up without a fight. There's been a revolution in this country, and there are serious risks and dangers present. Kind of feel like Julian Assange right now. I haven't seen daylight in a long time. President Assad, this just in. Syria is ready to cooperate with Donald Trump. Putin is bombing ISIS. Putin is protecting his ally. The last line in the sand in the Middle East. What happens next? U.S. petrodollar is being threatened. Russia and China are getting stronger. They're moving away from the long dominated through blood and war U.S. dollar denominated world reserve. They've established the AIIB, a counterpoint to the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. These criminals, like George Soros and others, will not give up. They tear down nations by manipulating currencies. They promote violence on the ground like we're seeing now. We've been reporting on incessantly. One of the reasons why I'm losing my voice is, again, black mobs violently beat white Trump voters in this country, showing how radical, violent, and disgraceful that they actually are. My point here being, we are looking, breaking report, Russia bombing ISIS. A good thing. I mean, that's what we're supposedly fighting here in the United States. And supporting his partner, Assad. But here lies the rub. That's not the agenda of the globalists, folks. The agenda of the globalists is to destroy Bashar al-Assad and to take out the sovereign leadership in Syria, just like Ukraine. And I think a great risk to global stability is how potentially NATO and the United Nations frames Vladimir Putin as a potential war criminal and framing him in the light of human rights violations, even though it couldn't be further from the truth. When I see potential accidents unfold, like I'm looking at right now, with a Russian warship coming this close to a NATO-backed submarine, these are the types of events that can lead to a much broader, severe conflict. We are at a hair trigger. These are the risks Donald Trump inherits. And what I fear is before Inauguration Day, and Obama hands over those keys, he inherits the pre-engineered war, the pre-engineered crisis, the catalyst event, the preemptive strike. This is breaking right now. Get it out. We will be following this story. I will be updating you. I'm Christopher Green. Thank you for your support. I see we've got tremendous support. You guys are helping me out here. Thank you so much. Tarek just donated $100. It looks like just a few minutes ago. James Hansen, $10. Ryan, $75. Christian, $10. Thank you. Guys, let's get this over $5,000 today. $5,000 today. We can buy a new computer. We can do more content. We can upload more videos. Today. Over $5,000 today. Thank you so much. Click the link below to support us. I'm Christopher Green. Like your comments, questions, comments in the box below. Hard hitting and in your face. Peace.